And welcome back to the Irish Report. I am a very depressed, very despondent host, Shane, joined by my equally despondent host, Jason.
Similarly despondent.
Again, Jason said it right. We invested in the pod technology. We are ready for next year.
Yep, we did it for a reason. Will we be together or will we be with someone else? That's yet to be determined. But it's not looking great for either of us avoiding the podcast of shame.
As much fun as it is, it's like a once in a while fun thing to do, not like a multiple season thing
in a row. Probably in particular, but what are you gonna do? I guess while we're here, we may as well put out some quality content.
So we're gonna jump right into our injury report, and recap our calls from the previous week. So looking at my call for full health last week was Clintankerous versus the Troll Tolls. And all I can say about that game is I feel like Clintankerous held up his end of the bargain.
Yep.
Troll Tolls, on the other hand, did not.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not much more you can say about that. Clintankerous has been pretty consistent, point scoring wise.
Yeah.
Which we've had some pretty big swings. Many down, not as many up. This week, I think we had some of the highest scoring team. But yeah, that was a good one. And as I recall, I think I had picked my game of the week was the who can see. It was, I believe, was it Bare Naked Hades versus that guy in a little end zone. Mostly just to see if Chuck could recover from the low scoring from week 2. He did get better, but
that was a low metric.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ross also had his. He had a great week. Second highest score. So I don't really think it lived up to my expectations either. But Chuck improved. I mean, he outscored me, which he outscored 3 people.
Again, low bar.
Yeah, well, as I'm learning.
That being said, I think both of us can agree, all of us can agree, that the game of the week was in fact the Chinese Waving Cats versus Points a Latte. Which was just another like a stellar game.
Who would have thought? Yeah. I mean, a tight game to the end.
One would say a tight end. 3 of them. 4 of them, including Points a Latte.
Yep. I mean, you had a great performance from Kincaid, who we maligned, I believe, live at draft time, the pick. And so far, I mean, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense, but if only one of them would be Keon Coleman, that would be nice. Other than that one time, but you get 11 points from Johnson. You get 7 from Ertz, but if you look at the bench, like would you have started? Actually, his 4th tight end would have got him some more points. Not they needed him. It's not like he would have started McNichols over, the third tight end spot.
I mean, the truly amazing part is that Ken scored as much as he did while putting up 1.5 with Joshua Palmer, which we'll get into when we delve into the matchups. But still, definitely needed to be said. In my headed for the blue tent pick last week, I I picked the Bare Naked Hades versus Fat Guy in Little End Zone. And I feel once again cheated by one of the participants. Fat Guy in a Little End Zone certainly held up his end of the bargain as far as being one of the worst games of the week. Unfortunately, Ross's team decided that they wanted to play football for at least 1 week.
They did. Yeah, at least it wasn't against me. Let me see. What did I pick for my worst game? Oh, what did I say? I don't remember. I think I picked the same.
I think you did too. We generally, yeah.
I may not have in revising history if I did.
No one's going to listen back to it to check, so it's fine.
Probably true. I think that probably was based on looking at the matchups. I think that was it. Yeah, and I actually think. Let's see. Looking at the wrong. No. I'm looking at the wrong week. I believe my. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That was right. Yeah. I mean, looking at that again. I mean, I'd pick that hopefully to be my game of the week. Trying to give Chuck a little boost there. But in terms of worst matchup, yeah, or potentially lowest score. Least exciting. I think what actually turned out to be the least exciting was my own game.
That brings us into the blue tent, which was definitely,
unfortunately,
Malcolm Death Squad versus Draft Day Champion 3-Peat, which I also picked as my into the blue tent for this week. My only note for this game, Jason, and I'll let you expand upon it a little bit because you have more intimate knowledge of this team, was underperformers all around except Caleb Williams.
Yeah, great news for me. I mean, he did throw a touchdown to, help me out slightly, but Dallas is looking real bad. I mean, Russ carved him up, and then Russ looked awful this week. So Williams looking good. I mean, he's looking like what they hoped he would in situations where they are able to do, keep to their game plan. Like he hasn't really been under a ton of like pressure or like, big, situations where you might have to kind of think outside the box. Like, when he gets to do what he wants to do, he's been doing well. So yeah, I mean, 32 points. They had to be up there with quarterbacks for the week. I didn't look at all of them, but
yeah. Also, too, speaking of Russ, by the way, I don't know if you saw, he's been benched.
Not surprisingly,
it's Jackson Dart time.
Yeah, I don't even know, honestly. To continue this tangent, like, I don't know why any team believes that if they've watched any football over the past, I would say conservatively 3 years, why you would want him on your team. Russ, that is, like, he's not good.
Yeah. Also, just one final thing about this, just kind of in the macro on this matchup here. Just a quick glance down through both of these teams. When I say underperformers, there were quite literally between the two teams 3 total players who beat their projected scores. One of them by 0.16.
Yep.
One of them by 0.14, and then Caleb Williams.
Yep.
It was an underperforming game.
Not good
for the books.
Yep. I mean, and my only solace here is even if I had started Mason, I would have lost. So I can rest slightly easier, blaming my technology problems for. I should have known no Bills wide receiver would have a good week 2 weeks in a row. But I mean, there's talent here. They just
on Pat's
have some
team.
bad weeks. Well, as much as mine.
All right, that brings us to the training staff checkups. We're looking at the heroes and the IR designees for the week, for the past week, and we'll start off as we always do with my game because it's at the top of my list here, and that's the Cardinals versus the bottom of the barrel. Again, just as a side note, heartbreaking game for me. Really thought I had a chance. Who would have thought that Mark Andrews actually knew how to play football still? Apparently, he's the greatest tight end that's playing this year. So, when we look at the heroes for the game, looking at bottom of the barrel, we need look no further than Mark Andrews. In all honesty, as I was saying before, Jason and I started recording tonight, Mark Andrews could have had a good night. I mean, it would have been, 17, 18-point game, and I still would have won. But instead, he decides to go on with a great night and completely dash all hopes I have of being successful in this league this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you don't have to play him every week, so that's something to look forward to. I think the MVP obvious. I think looking at the IR designee of the team here. I mean, again, I think this is 2 weeks in a row, but he's the number 1 pick.
Not in a row. Last week he was a hero.
2 weeks. That's true. 2 weeks out of
3.
2 weeks out of 4 or 3. It's gotta be Chase.
No argument.
I mean, whatever, 9 points. But again, he's the guy. Like, you see you look at some of these other scores, like, okay, McMillan and Warren, like, those are just guys that you're hoping to get something out of. Like, McMillan only had just a little bit under a point less than Chase. Like, that can't have that happen. And if it keeps up, things are going to be looking rough, which is also connected to my team. Thanks, Bengals quarterback.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that analysis, and so we're gonna move right along quickly to Chinese Waving Cats and Points a Latte for the best matchup of the week. And so for this one, again, Ken's team. Honestly, you had how many players did we play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I really think you had 6 options there. You can argue Juwan Johnson, not so much, but like even so, like still, when your tight end's getting you
11 points out your tight ends.
Yeah. But I think the obvious choice is, and I think we said this last week, when you score 3 touchdowns, you're the hero of the game. So Jonathan Taylor is the guy, but in all honesty, Ken's team was rock solid this week.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at it, and I mentioned in the Guillotine League, I've got Gibbs and Taylor together, and I've been cruising with those guys. And I mean, Ken, it's much the same. Like, that's the thing. Taylor, I think he, maybe not overlooked, but he's a guy you look at the Colts, not great, injuries, or historically the Colts not great, but he has been just coming up big every week, and then you add in the other guys around him, but clearly the centerpiece is JT there, and IR designee, again, Ray's team pretty balanced. Look past Myers because the Raiders are sad, and although Tucker, tons of points, and Myers 63 yards, only 3 catches. Like, if he got some more targets, but I don't think he's so much of a 9 points, whatever. I'm going to go with Chuba here. You're looking at your one of your top. I mean, Ray's got a good running back room. But 9 points, without getting a score, or two catches but only 3 yards. Like when you only lose by 6, like little things like that. If he had even, if he had come close to a Shane who didn't score either. So I got to go with Hubbard.
So
for the designee here.
Yeah, I looked at this, and I looked at Hubbard too, and I thought the same thing. And then I looked at, 73 rushing yards. That's nothing to kind of scoff at. Like, that's like, he didn't get in the end zone, okay, but like, he put up decent points for your arguably fourth running back in that room, maybe third, but like, I think I put Montgomery over him. I actually looked at this and kind of tossed and turned about it a bit, and I said, you know what? While Ray lost this week in the head-to-head, he doesn't deserve to have an IR designee. I think
breaking
Ray
breaking the rules again.
I am. Ray deserves to have another hero. Like, he was right there. He put up one of the best fights of the week. What did he end up with? Was it the second highest point scorer?
I think it was third.
It was third. Yeah, Bare Naked Hades had
second.
Yeah. But okay, third highest point scorer. I just don't think that
in a loss. That's tough.
Yeah, I don't think that deserves to have an IR designee. So I went with another hero, and I said David Montgomery, who was insane.
Almost stolen on Monday night.
Yeah, unreal game. Just absolutely. He kept Ray there. And so I'm going to say that Ray does not deserve an IR designee, and he gets the second hero of this game, which is David Montgomery.
Well, I will say, I will point out another tidbit, since Ray's getting some positive action here. You know who outscored Chuba Hubbard is Ollie Gordon II. Unrelated to anything, wouldn't have helped him win the game, but I'm just saying it's kind of an interesting thing that I noticed just now. So congrats, Ray. You get a star guy too. If you're looking to trade one of those running backs, then
most of this league,
Ollie could be yours.
Yeah, most of this league would give you anybody for them. So, all right, that brings us to the Bare Naked Hades, and Fat Guy in a little end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at this one, looking at Bare Naked Hades, I think the hero of the week. He had a lot of big performers. Kenneth Walker III had a great game. Ricky Pearsall had a great game. Buka had a great game. Nico Collins finally decided to remind everyone what he is.
Yeah.
Drake May even had a good game in the loss. His running back room is trash, but the hero of this game is Jake Ferguson. When you have 13 receptions, like, that is unbelievable. Like, just absolute PPR cheat code right there. When I looked at the number, I was like, oh wow, Jake Ferguson had an insane game, and then looked over what the actual stat was. It was
no scores.
Yeah, it was just he was just catching the ball all night long. So yeah, Jake Ferguson definitely takes the hero of the game for the Bare Naked Hades.
Yeah, he had a lot of guys, a lot of catches. Pearsall 8 catches, Collins 8 catches, obviously Ferguson with 13, 6 for Buka. A lot of volume going around there. So let's see. If that's so, we're going with I would agree with that. If you're getting 21 out of your tight end, that's got to be the guy. Unfortunately, IR designee and literal IR designee, James Conner. I'm going to give it to. Hopkins is the lowest scoring on Fat Guy Little End Zone, but I don't think he's. You expect much out of him anyway. You hope maybe he'll catch, one-handed touchdown catches.
Yeah, he's a lottery ticket. I agree.
Connor with the real IR designation as well. Brutal blow. I believe it was. I'm not sure at what point in the game it was, but it wasn't. It was it earlier in the game. He only had 22 rushing yards. So, I mean, a bad break, it wouldn't have made a difference unless he had some enormous, insane game. But long-lasting implications, of course. Chuck playing for this, getting Benson.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean, this is
softens the blow,
right?
A little.
This is your PSA for a to get the handcuffs.
Yep, especially with certain guys.
Yep.
So smart move by Chuck. Unfortunately, another down week overall. I mean, Chauncey, it's rough to watch, but again, you got to go. Unfortunately, the guy who let you down the most is the guy you count on, and now he's gone. Now he's gone. He's out. No more James in with Trey, and hope that works out for Chuck. So we'll see how it goes. He's old. I noticed. Actually, was that? No. Jones on the IR as well. So it's tough. It's a couple of tough breaks in a couple of weeks.
I mean, Mike Evans is also going to be out for
probably 3 weeks.
I heard longer. I heard it was like a moderate train. Yeah.
And especially with his history.
Right.
It's injury every year.
So I'm gonna strongly disagree with you. Even though Chuck did have he had cases for multiple people. Like you said, Hopkins, absolutely. Connor is the low-hanging fruit. He's going on the IR. Mike Evans, if he's not going on the IR, he is really at the edge of going on the IR. But Ashton Genty is his IR designee. He is, I think, probably this season the most disappointing fantasy player. Everyone had such high hopes for him. And he continues to not be, well, I shouldn't say he's probably great and just a fantastic player.
Ferocious.
Right. But like he's stuck in quicksand that is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Raiders. Yeah. I know it well. I know the feeling.
So yeah, Ashton Genty is definitely, and 63 yards is nothing to scoff at, but like, again, you expected him to catch
17 attempts.
Right. But you expected him to catch the ball. You expected him to, get some touchdowns. It was just it's just not like things are broken there right now.
Things are bad.
Yeah.
Especially when Geno had a good game. I mean, they were playing from behind the whole game, but still, like.
But again, like that, you want some jump offs there. You want him to get him out in space, let him do something. Like he's an electric player. So,
bad news there. Yeah.
So that brings us next to Clintankerous and the Troll Tolls. And Jason, why don't you take the hero first on this one?
Oh, let's see. So this one, again, disappointing, especially after week 1. Troll Tolls looked like they were world-beating material, and then.
Are you switching us to doing the IR designee first? As well?
No. I'm
lamenting Brian,
harshing on Brian's team real quick. Yeah. Disappointed, honestly, Brian. If you're listening to this,
we're not mad. We're just disappointed.
Yeah. So the hero will not be coming from, is suffice to say, from the Troll Tolls. I'm going to go with, and so this again. I think that Hurts, we maligned him a little bit. I also defended him somewhat because everyone seems to want to malign Hurts. Not going to go with Hurts, even though he had a great game. It's got to be Hunter Henry. 29 points, 2 touchdowns. Again, 8 receptions. 8 receptions for 90 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Even without the scores, would have been a really, really good week for a tight end. And
For
I
anyone.
believe that this was for anyone. Yeah, I believe this was a midweek or late week pickup by Clitankers as well. I think
It was a Sunday morning pickup.
Yeah. So, I mean, considering that, even more so, like a guy you pick up the morning of to slot in.
Maybe
I think I was saying, I mean, definitely real late in the week.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I believe in my picks of, free agent pickups last week, May was one of them, about how all the, the passes to Henry, like it's his outlet, it's his guy, and worked out. I mean, it worked out for Ross. It worked out even more so for Clitankers here. So got to be Hunter Henry with his 29 points.
I mean, I have nothing to add. That's exactly what I had down as well. Again, he had the volume, he had the yards, he had the touchdowns.
Yep.
No additional notes. But for IR designee, when we're looking over at the troll tolls, this is where I went chalk and went with the new IR designee who will be going on the IR.
Yep.
Mr. CeeDee Lamb.
Rough.
Again, yeah, it just there's no notes. Like, it's just that's tough when you get injured and you haven't done anything yet in the game. That's
a true Dallas fashion to have him get injured on a backfield, some sort of running, trick play type deal, or whatever. Not that you aren't running when you catch the ball, but like putting you in a position you're not normally in. Maybe making a cut a different way, getting contact earlier than you would. Maybe you're just in a different. Cowboys can't get out of their own way.
I mean, I think that's probably slightly unfair because I don't know if the Cowboys have done that a ton in recent years. I mean, we've seen like the Texans do it. We've seen other.
They probably shouldn't have.
And the other thing too is that like sometimes you just do stuff to try to like spark things. So I mean, I hear you, and I hear like the criticism of it, and I don't know. I think it's partially unfair because it's like when it happens and it's great, like we all cheer it and it's wonderful. And
that's true.
And it doesn't go as wrong as often as we like to portray. It's sort of like one of those, like, when it's really bad, you like sit there and you're like, that was such a dumb play. It's like they've done that 15 times this year and it didn't go wrong the other 14. So
that's true.
I don't know.
That's true. And I will say that as a man with a microphone, I am here to make uneducated, wild takes based on little to no evidence of any kind. So I stand by what I say.
I like it. I appreciate the commitment to your calls. So that brings us up to the Superb Owls and the Mad Dogs. And before we even dissect this, let's all agree that right now, 3 games into the season, the Mad Dogs are heading for absolute infamy. I mean, this might end up being one of the worst teams in the league in recent memory.
Well, I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, I'm looking at the total points. They've got 40 more points than Fat Guy and Lil Endzone. So it's possible. I think. I mean, and again, I only have 12 more points than the Mad Dogs.
I don't want you to say how many more points I have, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that speaks for itself. People can look it up if they want to. But I think in between those two, I think that looking at the rosters, I think there's certainly more upside for Fat Guy in Lil Endzone, because I mean, you had the week, you think Lamar and Henry together is going to net you a lot, and it does, generally speaking. But looking at the rest of the roster, the receivers, Kyle Pitts, the depth. I mean, depth can be hard to come by, but when your starters are, either Bateman or Hollywood Brown at wide receiver, and not really like guys who have underperformed and should be better. Just kind of like guys. It's not great. So,
who do you have for a
if we're
hero
looking at
for
the heroes
for Superb Owls?
Yeah. My hero is gonna be I think I went back and forth between between AJ Brown having like his first true game you'd expect or game you want from him, or Cook. And I think I went with Brown because Cook's been 21 points, 26 points, 20 points. Like he's been there. I'm giving it to Brown because he had one, just under 2, and then just under 8, and now 23 points, 10 catches. The volume was there. I'm not 10 catches, 6 catches. The volume was there. Made the most of it. Hurts was throwing the ball. Like if that keeps up, or anything resembling that, Super Owls. As much as I don't hate to say it anymore. Last year I would have hated to say it. My ex-rival, the Super Owls, looking pretty good. I think they get some luck here, and there's some potential holes, but I think every team has that. They're, especially with Scatabo on the bench, who is just massacring people on the field. If he lives through the season, he'll have a great rookie season. You could slot him in too in some of these spots. So, yeah, it was AJ Brown for me.
So this is actually, I was again telling Jason before we started the pod today that I checked again. I write everything down. I write notes for the whole for all of our rundowns, and I checked to see the recaps of the games, and I picked the same star player in each game that Yahoo AI did, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm feeling bad about it, but also I still don't know how to feel about it. But so at least I'm as good as Yahoo's AI. But this was the only game actually that I picked differently than Yahoo. Yahoo actually picked Pittman for this game, which is interesting that Jason didn't also consider him as well. And I think Pittman is honestly a great find for the Super Owls. I think he's going to continue to have a great season and be like a legit wide receiver 2, top tier wide receiver 3. And with what he's got, that's fantastic. But I agree with Jason. I think AJ Brown coming out and actually showing us that he can still be a top tier wide receiver. I think that makes him the hero of this game, and probably instill some confidence in Josh in his team this year. And for the Mad Dogs, there were a lot of options. A lot of options for the IR designee for this game.
Yes, that's correct.
I think it's a tie, though. I think there's 2 people that deserve this. I think that the first person is the manager, Josh, because he also started the second person, who is Ramondre Stevenson, who, when you have 2 fumble losses, you're gonna be the IR designee of the team, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't good at all.
4 fumbles lost across the Mad Dogs this week.
Ooh, that's rough. I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yep. Henry had that big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with that one. I mean, I was, if the score were closer, then I probably would have went with someone like Henry. Only getting 10 points in a game again, where they scored 30 points. But I think I'm gonna switch up a little. I mean, that's a pretty bad one. But I also think that with Ramondre, last week he had a really good game, a lot of catches. so on and so forth. But I don't know. I feel great about Pat's offense in general when it comes to that. I mean, May being a mobile guy. Also, I don't know. I was gonna go back to. I'll go with a 1A and a 1B situation. I'm gonna go with both his RB slot guys, Pacheco and Stevenson.
Have you picked Pacheco every single
I have.
week?
He's bad. He's
love
no good.
it. I love it.
I mean, a game where points were hard to come by because the Chiefs are weirdly not very good. They can't even put the ball on the ground for 10 rushes for 45 yards. Like, okay, whatever, but like no red zone. I mean, Hunt scored the rushing touchdown. Like, it's just not a good situation, and you've not seen a game. He hasn't broken 6 points, and he is slotted in as your RB1 or 2 like that. I mean, I know Henry's really his RB1, but so slotted in as your RB2, maybe 3, and right now he's more of a bench guy. He doesn't have much going on, otherwise.
Full circle on this, by the way, is you end up with Pacheco at some point this season. He's going to have a couple of great weeks. You're going to try to trade for him. He ends up on your team, and then is exactly what you think he is.
His knee explodes or something. Yeah. No, that is a very real possibility. And I mean, if Mad Dogs made any moves with their team, any trades of any kind, then that I could see that being even more of a possibility. But I will not be seeking out. You heard it here first. I will not be seeking out Isaiah Pacheco as a trade target this year.
Which brings us to the real woof of the week here. This is rough. We need to talk about Jason's matchup. The Malcolm Death Squad versus Draft Day Champion 3P.
Tough choices here.
This is rough. I mean, for the Draft Day Champions, it doesn't. I mean, it's an easy pick here. It's Caleb Williams. It was a great pickup.
Yes.
It went fantastic for him. I guess my only caveat with that, it was an awesome week, and I think that Caleb's gonna be okay this year and probably have some good weeks like this. I just hope that Pat continues to kind of scour the waiver wire and play the matchups, because I think his team didn't perform this week, but I still think it's a solid team.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. You got some good, some guys on here who had some down weeks that had previously done well. So
yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
but it's Caleb though. I mean,
pretty clear choice.
Easy. Yeah.
IR.
I'm actually interested in who your IR is for you before I share mine. Only because I went a little off script on this one. Not too much, but yeah, I'm interested in what you're thinking first.
Myself.
I didn't go that off script with it. I did not think it was you. I think, again, your guys didn't perform. I mean, with the exception of Jatavian Sanders, who, I'll be honest with you, I think this week was the first time I ever read his name before. So, cool that you took a shot there. I guess, I don't know. You were reading different blogs than me, but
I did not think that Kraft was going to start, and it was up in the air. And I was like, well, maybe they just take it easy with. I mean, he didn't do it much better. So, I was looking at this and cutting him out because it doesn't make any sense. I am getting fed up with, and this is why I went with him, BTJ, who has been, I would not say worthless, but looking at, he has 7 targets, 1 reception, 12 targets, 4 receptions, 6 targets, 2 receptions. I have had enough with Brian Thomas Jr., and he is easily, for me, my IR designee of the week.
Well, we can talk about BTJ a little bit later, maybe as figuring out some trade options. I might Might be interested.
That makes me want to do it. Even that makes me not want to do it.
I might be interested in welcoming his disappointing stats to my team. He'd fit in with the Cardinals. But for me, actually, I mean, I looked at BTJ and I thought about it. Definitely disappointing. Obviously, T. Higgins is up there. Like you got to look at him, but I think expectations are a little bit tamped down with his quarterback situation right now.
Yeah.
For me, I went with Saquon Barkley, and not because it was a terrible game, but just because of what you expect to get out of him. And I think that's probably a little bit of a lower floor than you're expecting from him. I think you're probably looking like 12 points at least to see from him, and I just think he kind of epitomized your whole team this week. Just underperforming, and not in like a necessarily a huge way, but when all of them do it at the same time, it produces a sub 80 score.
Yep. I mean, if you even had guys come close to projections, it wouldn't have been, what I would have been feeling a lot worse about messing up with Mason. But put it behind us. BTJ, if you're listening, catch the ball.
But I think
that's your job.
I think the first thing you said, Jason, was the important part. Let's put it behind us. Let's forget about this week.
Yeah,
we're on to next week.
It's gone.
And let's look ahead and look at full health for this week. What's going to be the matchup of this coming week? What do you think?
I think the best game this week is going to be Waving Cats versus Clitankers.
Interesting. Okay, hang on. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
I see Ken's team has been looking strong. Good performances. Matchups could be a bit of a problem, but some of these players seem kind of like matchup proof. Like we talked about Barkley. He had a down week against the Rams. So will Jonathan Taylor have the same? Hard to say. I think that there may be, if Worthy comes back, be a boost there, potentially. Don't really know what you can get from him. But Pickens stepping into the vacancy left behind by Lamb, I think is going to be a big boost for if Pickens can stay on the field and not, like smash his helmet through the bench or, whatever it is he was doing on the sidelines. I noticed Lamb looked pretty spry when he was trying to hold him back. Interestingly enough, in the middle of the game. Strange. And then up against Clitankers, who again, very consistent scoring. Harrison Jr. yet to put it together. Also, speaking of drops, the Denver light is kind of the model that he's going with here, and some of the numbers will come down. Henry won't score 29 again, probably, but I think this is going to be. I think they're both going to break projections. I think it's going to be pretty close. Probably under 10-point spread, I would say.
Hey, Jason, do we find it a little odd that Clitankers is not carrying a full bench?
Yeah.
I just went and looked to see if...
I just noticed this too.
He didn't carry a full bench all weekend. Like, it wasn't that he just dropped a couple of people because they got injured or something like that. Like, it's a bold move.
Interesting. I wonder, what does he know?
I don't think he knows anything.
Or does he know?
Yeah, I think he doesn't know how many players he can carry in our league.
Well, I won't be telling him.
Well, we'll see if he listens to the pod, I guess, huh?
That's true.
All the way to the end. For me, the matchup of the week, I just... When you're looking at what the league looks like right now, I don't know how you can't choose the Superb Owls and Points a Latte as the game of the week. You've got the two of the top teams in the league. I think that Yahoo is grossly underestimating what the Superb Owls are at this point.
Yes.
and Points Latte has shown that they are, even when they have lost, they're one of the top teams in the league. So I just think this is going to be an absolute kind of juggernaut fight. And I think the biggest question for the game, and I think what it's going to hinge on, is going to be what Ray's tight end spot does. Yep. I think that's the difference.
I think that Josh has got to figure out a way to get Scadabo in that lineup somehow. Because I think they're going to keep hammering it through him.
I mean,
I see a way for him to get him in there.
I was going to say it's choosing which one of Kelsey or Laporta he puts on the bench.
Yeah,
that's it.
Which is not as easy as the choice.
No, absolutely not. No. But I still think, I think that's the matchup of the week. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. And it won't surprise me when Yahoo AI chooses that as the game of the week.
Yes. You're welcome, Yahoo data scrapers.
All right, so now we're headed for the blue tent. So this is our worst matchup of the week.
Yeah.
Jason and I have not shared this with each other, but
I think I know what it's going to be.
We've hinted to each other what we were looking at, and
self-deprecating.
I have an eerie feeling that we both feel the same way. The head for the blue tent, the awful matchup of the week, the one that no one's going to pay attention to, except for maybe the two owners, but we might not even pay attention to it. It'll be the podcast matchup.
Yep.
It's on paper, it doesn't look terrible. It's bad.
It's gonna be.
It's bad.
It's gonna be bad.
It's not great. We're we're floundering.
Tony, I have nothing to say about this.
I've thought about trades too, Jason, and looked at other people and everything. It's
who wants these chumps?
Yeah,
aside from BTJ, which now I'm not gonna trade.
I have nothing to offer you people. I'm so it's kind of looking at it being I have to trade everyone. So it's at this point where I'm just kind of all right, I guess I'm rolling with this, and
I'm hoping that some guys pick up that have not been, and maybe I hit on a couple of waiver guys that end up actually sticking and aren't great one week and everyone rushes to grab them and then they suck.
Chris Godwin is what I'm hanging my faith on.
He may come back this week.
Yeah, I think he will.
So, I bet I have a feeling it's going to look pretty creaky coming back in week one, his first week. But
normally I wouldn't start him.
Is he less creaky than?
Guess what?
Tyler Warren.
I'm starting him this week.
Or
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. There's just lots of bad options for me. I mean, the one positive thing, and the one thing I want to see, is Omarion Hampton run against the New York Giants.
Yes.
With no Najee Harris behind him.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
give me that all day.
Had a great week last week.
Yes, he did.
So,
all right. So that brings us to injury update. So these are this is us looking at the waiver wire, the pickups. And this week we're going to have kind of a mixture. We're going to look up at if we have any pickups of the week for last week. Ones that made a big difference in the games, and then looking forward to the current week's pickups. Just as a kind of a clarifying thing for me, if I talked about it in previous weeks, I'm not going to talk about that person again if they're still out there, even if I think they're a pickup this week.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be able to, we want to keep the content fresh here, for our listeners, for our many loyal listeners. So for me, I first looked at last week's pickups, and I have two. Jason, do you have any from last week that you wanted to talk about first, or
not very remarkable? All of them are. I have nothing.
I mean,
two of them were bad,
right? I think we have to. I think we have to once again, and I know we already kind of celebrated both of them, but we need to celebrate both Cletankerous and draft day champion 3P for their pickups of Hunter Henry and Caleb Williams last week.
Huge.
Just I mean, very, very solid pickups. And those are the ones that made differences in the game. And they're definitely the pickups of the week.
Yep.
With Hunter Henry being at the top of that one. I mean,
Yep.
Caleb Williams a little bit less so.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
So for this week, Jason, who do you have for one of the people that you're targeting this week, or that you think people should target this week should they have the need?
I'm going to push back strongly against Ross's suggestion that Trey Tucker should not be money spent on him would be wasted. Partly because my Raiders fandom, I believe, but I don't think he can. I mean, in my mind, he's been a guy who has been, waiting for a quarterback that can, get the ball to him on a consistent basis. And even week 1, it's 14 points, he get a touchdown, but 54 yards on 2 catches. Week 2, bad. The whole team was bad. Last week, 9 targets, 8 catches, and of course, 3 scores, 145. Like, I don't think with that amount of volume, especially with the matchups they have coming up, I don't think that you can turn your back on that. So he's my number 1 guy.
He kind of reminds me a little bit like of another Raiders tight end or Raiders wide receiver from a few years ago. That was like a late, kind of first few week pickup on Hunter Renfrow. Like a few years ago where like picked him up and he like had like a solid year. And I mean, obviously totally different skill set, totally different type of receiver. But I agree with you. I think that obviously you're not getting 40 points. Everyone can just like chill out. That's not ever happening again. But
I mean, I'll take 15.
Right. I think
at this point, I'll take 10.
I think he's probably got like, I don't know, like 6 or 7, 8 weeks of a good like 12 to 15 points in him this year. I think it's possible.
The deep ball, like they're throwing the ball a lot, and they will be.
Right, they're not good, so they're gonna have to throw.
He's my guy.
And he's your deep guy there. So
hear that, Ross?
I feel like that's fair. For me, part of this is like me trying to throw some good vibes onto Chris Godwin and thinking that maybe, if I say something nice about somebody else in that receiving core, I might be totally wrong, and I'll be super happy because if I am, it's going to be because Chris Godwin has blown up. So, Sterling Shepard. Mike Evans is out.
Blast from the past.
He's a sure-handed guy. Baker knows him. Baker feels good with him. I think you've got 4 or 5 weeks of a reliable wide receiver 3 with Sterling Shepard.
I guess we'll see.
It's boring. It's not like a super exciting pick. It's not going to blow up on you, but like, and then not only that though, if you have him, I mean, Godwin and Mike Evans have shown they're not the most durable of people. They're both going to be coming off of injuries. The chance that he can continue it throughout the season is actually probably better than a lot of the other lottery picks that you might be going with this week. So my pickup would be first Sterling Shepard.
Yeah. My second pick, another receiver. Looking to partially fill the Lamb void is Kavontae Turpin for the Cowboys. I debated going with Tolbert, but I don't know. I feel like I remember that name floating around like preview, and it never really panned out. And maybe not Turpin either, but I'm gonna pick one. Just got a good feeling. Also, cooler name. So
always good base to pick on the name. That's how the secretaries win the NCAA pool.
Maybe not to draft by name, but free agent pickups by name sounds good to me.
My last pickup of the week actually, and I didn't write down his first name, and I really hope I get it right, and I'm gonna get roasted if I don't, but pretty sure it's Luther Burden.
Bearden or
Burden?
Yeah, the
Burden,
the Bears guy.
The third, yeah. He's clearly coming on. The Bears offense appeared to be coming on last week, although everyone does miss the Cowboys. But I think you have a rookie wide receiver who's coming into the offense. The offense is coming into the offense. I just think if you get a bet on somebody, you could wear some. What was he? A second, third round pick, I think. Who's playing with? I think one of the better offensive minds in the league. I just think the ceiling there is a lot higher. The only issue with him, obviously, is that you have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze in front of him. As far as the targets, but again, I mean,
great.
Those are two people that could potentially, miss time at some point. And when you have two people, like, there's a higher probability there. I just think that based off of what his draft capital was, what his situation is, I guess I would always want to be associated with the Ben Johnson offense. So
true. That is true. That's true. And my third is I kind of went back and forth. Decided I don't really want to have anything to do with the Commanders' backfield of three guys fighting for carries. Not much better situation here, but when we talk about running back injuries and we talk about guys who are available, who are at least, and there's kind of like a 1A, 1B in the backfield, and upcoming matchups. Even though he has a bye only in week 6, a guy I'd never heard of until this morning, Woody Marks for the Texans. 3 fewer carries, Yahoo tells me, than Nick Chubb. They're both, the offense has been not very good, but running backs getting opportunities. Chubb injury history. If you can have a place to put this guy, or if you're a bad team that's hoping for something, maybe he takes over. Maybe at least you get a starting running back that, who knows what you can get. It seems like he catch a few passes as well. Maybe that'll increase. That's my third choice. Is kind of, it sounds like a high school history teacher, Woody Marks, the professor.
Mr. Marks, and he lets us call us Woody. Woody. That's not a good history teacher. All right.
Love him, though.
I mean, if you don't have any more, I don't have any more.
No.
Yeah.
It's rough out there.
This is, I don't know. I mean, I think bottom line is you're going to have one host next week who's going to be real sad. I'm not looking forward to this week. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No.
Just not looking forward to it.
No.
This season is already in the, oh dear God, I need to figure out how not to finish in the last 2.
Yeah.
That's where I'm starting to feel right now.
I had some hope last week. And I was about, it went away real fast.
I had some hope last night.
Yeah.
I mean,
when are we invest?
The hurt is very recent for me right now.
It's still there.
The wound is open. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope all of you enjoyed this. Well, not all of you. I hope Ross didn't enjoy this. I
hope some of you did.
Yeah, I don't want you to enjoy any of these things. Hopefully this week, I don't know, goes well for. I would prefer all of you tie with really low scores. I don't know how we would deal with that. Yeah, I don't know how we would deal with that as far as the additional point there. But my suggestion would be is that Jason and I get all of the points and we split them with which one of us wins. Yeah, getting one more. That's my suggestion for the.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion.
Well, I think we should take a vote on it, and then if no one else votes right now, this would be yeah. I mean, who cares about Robert's rules and quorum and things like that?
Nobody. I don't even honestly heard that term thrown around a lot, and I still have no idea what it means. So it just seems like a way to waste a lot of time fighting with each other, honestly.
That's yep. No, you got it.
in my
No,
experience.
you've got
So,
you hit it on the head. Like
yeah.
that is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the Irish goodbye. I don't know.
We're sad. We're sad.
We will be sad. We will be more sad next week. One of us certainly, and the other one probably just with empathy for the other. So
Yeah.
well,
Maybe at least for 45 minutes
show.
on a Tuesday.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, yeah. But yeah, I'm Shane. That's Jason. See you guys next week.
Yep. Yeah. Have a good week, everyone. Some of you less than others.